Brett. That North put up a pretty decent fight for 3 quarters, but that third quarter was pretty decisive in the context of the match, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, in the context, certainly on the scoreboard it was. But no, I thought we got pretty much what we expected. We got a lot of time for the midfield. If you look at it, Powell, Wardlaw, Sheasel, Davies-Uniacke, we started Perkins, Hobbs, Caldwell. It's like it was always going to be a tough battle. Our guys were certainly up for that. When Parrish came out late, sort of we had to adjust around it a little bit. But no, I thought North contest earlier caused us some grief around stoppage. I think we were 0-5 centre bounce, which put us on the back foot. And it doesn't matter who you're playing. I mean, if they're the numbers against you, you're going to be, on the back foot, which we were. But we were able to stabilise the game and get things back on our terms. But it wasn't. I didn't think it was because North dropped off with their effort. I thought that was there throughout. So, I mean, I get that everyone sort of looks at the external result, but my observations of North this year is they put together really good patches, and I think they're going to put that together for a longer period of time and get a hold of some sides. So, our focus was today on staying in control of what we could do, and I thought for the large part we did that.
Forward delivery was pretty good from your perspective, and Peter Wright was a pretty big beneficiary of that. How do you see that? Yeah,
we just, I think like most teams, I mean, Pete's a pretty imposing target and a really good player, but it's, we just again focus on the system down there, and I think Cole Langford's game is just continuing to improve, regardless of output in terms of goals, marks, kicks. His ability to create space for other forwards or get on the end of it himself, is growing week by week. It's still, coaches are never happy with forward efficiency, but it's I thought Harrison Jones was terrific for us. I mean, he'd been sick during the week, so we sort of proactively subbed him at 3/4 time. But no, that combination worked pretty well.
Brad, obviously still a long way to go. We're not even at the halfway point, but 10 rounds is a pretty good sample size, and end around second spot. How pleasing is that?
Yeah, it's. I suppose, you'd rather be there than 16 other spots. But if you do the exercise and go back and have a look at the ladder between round 10 and round 16 last year, and then how it finished, it's completely different. So. I can say, we're not focused on it, but people will tell our players, I'm not going to lie to them and say we're not second on the ladder. I mean, we've got to acknowledge it, and that's where we are. But we've got to acknowledge why we're there and the hard work, and, because today's challenge was, everyone's telling us that this should be a pretty easy game for you, and it's just not the case. Have a look at Sheasel, have a look at Wardlaw. Look, these guys are very, very impressive players. They were the best juniors, along with, I think I mentioned during the week, Will Ashcroft, Elijah Sardis, Harry Sheasel, George Wardlaw. I mean, elite players, and 2 of those are playing for North. So they've got a lot to look forward to, and so we just had to stay on our mettle and make sure we held up our end of the bargain.
How different of a side do you feel from 12 months ago? Obviously, there's been a lot talked about the Goldsteins and Mackay's today. Obviously, him and playing against the wrong side, but a lot more maturity into the team, and some of these young guys are a year older as well. Do you feel like you've come a long way in 12 months?
Yeah, I think there's less reliance on, I mentioned before, like you've got 4. Very young midfielders, certainly in their early 20s, shouldering the load when Parrish, came out. So, we've got better depth than we've had previously, and I think that's evidenced by, Sardis and Shield came in, but mostly because Cox and Parrish went out. So, but that doesn't mean they're not ready to play senior footy. They are. It's just a good problem for us to have that we haven't been able to find a way in for those guys yet. So that depth, we worked really hard on covering multiple positions in the pre-season so that we could move things around. And players that have been really important for us this year, like Xavier Dersma, he goes out, we're able to replace that a little easier this year than we were last year.
Do you feel like you've also, put the ladder spot to one side, but do you feel like in the first 10 weeks you've developed a more reliable, more sustainable, dependable game plan over this 10-week block so far?
Yeah, but it's based on effort, so you can't guarantee effort from one week to the next. It's a pretty simple message, and clearly, the mechanics of the game are very detailed and fairly complex at times, but once you strip it all back, it comes back to the ability to give the required level of effort, and you just can't fluctuate in that space, and when you do, you get exposed. I mean, the competition just keeps throwing these things up, and whether it's results this round or previous rounds or in future rounds, you see these shock results, but they're not really a shock to us because we know how tight it is.
You mentioned the Bomber, the noise from the Bomber crowd last week against the Giants. This week, 43,000 against the bottom team. Clearly, it's going to be hard to quell their excitement in the second half of the season. Yeah, and
I think it's a really clear message for us. Our players have got to stay, focused on the actions that are going to give us our best chance to play well. But our fans are a big part of that, and their support's just incredible. I've played and coached a lot of games at Marvel Stadium, but I haven't felt an atmosphere like Essendon games. So that's and the players really feel it. And we talk about it pretty regularly. We want our fans to be proud of our performance. We want them to have pride in their team, and that the players take that responsibility really seriously. So I don't feel a need or a want even to sort of quell the excitement of our fans. Just got to keep our players focused.
Do you feel like this is the most continuity your forward line's had in your time at Essendon? It's not always easy playing three tall forwards. We've seen that with other clubs, but it seems like there's a lot of chemistry and it's all working quite well in the attacking half.
Yeah, and it's still building. It's Harrison Jones has worked really, really hard to get continuity. He's had a lack of continuity mainly through injury, but I've said repeatedly this year, there aren't any secrets to it. He's just worked extremely hard, had a full pre-season, hardly missed a session, and he's basing, because he's a unique athlete. I mean, he's got a lot of attributes, but he's basing his game on work rate, which is always a good place to start. And but I think it really helps. When you chop and change. Last year, Peter Wright, shoulder surgery the week of round one, Langford forward, it didn't have a lot of continuity. So I think your point's well made.
The same for Matt Golfy. A dozen, maybe a little bit more games last year, interrupted to start this season, and then today just gets to kind of take advantage of having that full game.
Yeah, I thought he was exceptional in his 100th game. Just such a versatile player, and I sometimes get a little bit concerned about milestones because it's sort of, is it about the person, and coaches always try and bring it back to the team. But with Guelph, it's really easy because for the vast majority of his career, he's played team roles, really important team roles. But he's got a unique ability to be able to play both sides of the ball equally well. So he's not just a really potent attacking threat for us. He's a great pressure player as well. So I was really pleased for him today.
How close was Darcy to playing?
We don't think it's a serious, he's got a tight calf. But I mean, my attitude with that is, well, even if he could play and even if he could get through and not get injured, is he going to play at his best? And I mean, he's an All-Australian for a reason, but the game's too hard for that now. If he's running around, worrying about his calf, he's not going to play very well. So, it's not like it was, he's no chance of playing. But the decision for me was really easy, particularly when, I'll be honest, that Elijah Sardis is there. And, we've been trying to get him into the team for a while.
Darren, how does he seem to sort of spend most of the last quarter off the ground?
Yeah, we just took the opportunity to manage him. He's just had a few, the way he plays, he gets banged up a bit. He copped a couple of big knocks, in the game. So, we had him sitting there ready to come back on if we needed to, but we just chose to leave him off. we'd already made our sub as well. So, but not that. I mean, North also had, I think, Bergman looked to be injured as well, and they'd already made their sub. So we sort of looked at that on balance. We're not going to get outrun in terms of numbers, so we just chose to leave him off.
And do you expect? Sorry, I was just saying. Do you expect Parrish and Cox to play next week, or what's this?
Yeah, Coxie. I mean, Jones just had a illness during the week, and not sure whether he gave to Coxie as well. But Jonesy got his timing right. Coxie didn't. But no, Coxie will be fine. Assuming that it is as minor as we think. Parrish, we don't know. I mean, I'd be just speculating at the moment. But I mean, as I said, there's no incident. He just felt tight in the calf before the game, so we just threw it on the side of caution. But I can't give an update as to whether it'll be right.
Brad, when you had the AFL umpiring was in your portfolio, what did you make of Isaac Rankin yesterday in the call that he ran too far?
I think there's umpiring so hard everywhere, but it's like when umpires have to call play on for a short kick. They have to calculate how far the ball's going in the air live and call it before the player marks it, whether they're going to call play on or pay the mark. Same with the umpires probably played the party pooper a bit in terms of the stage I imagine you guys have all measured it, have you? I don't know, was it correct or not?
It's 24.2 metres.
What's that?
Fox said it was 24.2 metres.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's umpiring is just so hard. We make it really hard. I think that there are some things I think that the AFL have tried to do for umpires, like does that improve decision making? The AFL will probably bring some data out to confirm or deny that. But what was my opinion on the Rankin thing? I was just like everyone else at home watching on TV, thinking, I wanted to see that last stoppage and see what happened. So was it a correct decision or not? I just think as coaches, you just. I mean, we had some score reviews today. I mean, honestly, we're not even thinking about it, looking at it. Was it touched? Was it not? We just move on to the next thing. So appreciate your question, but I mean, I just don't think like that.
And just quickly, Jordan Ridley. Yeah, Jordan Ridley. How close is Jordan?
Yeah, he could have. Well, I mean, he's right. He's AFL ready. So we just ramped him up really conservatively because he's had a recurrence of that injury. Ridge is a pretty mild-mannered guy, but it underlies a fierce competitiveness. When I said we're going to play him in the VFL, he gave me a look that I haven't seen from Rids before. So he got through the VFL today by all accounts, so he'll be right for next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Great, thanks.